morning. Welcome back to Harvest Moon Farm. So I ordered a new green stalk planter during their Mother's Day sale. So I got the, let's see, what did I get? I got the original. I got the 5-tier original with the spinny base. So I'm going to put it here. And I've got all of my pieces. We've got some potting mix. So I'm going to go ahead and fill those all up. Roll it over here and put everything in. And then I've got some cherry tomatoes and I think I might do some flowers. I'm not really sure yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and start putting this together. Or actually that's not true. I'm gonna start getting all the pieces out because I want to fill them before I stack them. But I did get this dark green color which I think is really pretty. So let's see. Go ahead and put the drain tubing on so I don't forget about it. I don't know if you can hear the goats. I fed them each a piece of clover and now they're mad because I walked off without feeding them anymore. So they're squawking at me. Alright. Put that there. So I got the 5-tier. I said that I got the 5-tier. So now I'm going to go start dragging my bags of potting mix out so I can fill these up. Except I've got to go through and unlock the door because it's locked. So I'm going to fill all 5 of these levels of this green stalk planter with soil. You do want to make sure that you fill it all the way to the very top, as you can see in that one that I just pulled off to the left side of the screen, because they're going to stack, and so you want to make sure that you've got access to all of that soil. So I'm just going to fill up each layer, and then we're going to start stacking them. So here I've started stacking each of the layers one on top of the other. You just line up the, there's some little curved pieces that fit inside the curved pieces from the lower level. You can see here in a minute I get this set right, and it just kind of snaps in. And then I've got it on the spinny base, so that makes it really nice to be able to spin it around, except I just realized that I forgot to put in the little watering trays. So I've got that other one stacked up there. I was going to fill it like that. And then I realized I forgot the watering trays, and I had to start taking it all back down. So if you don't know how the green stalk works, so each layer, you're going to see in a minute, it's got a little watering tray that goes in the center of each layer. And you just set that on top. There's a little hole right in the middle. You can see this is going to sit right on top of there. And then you set the next layer on top. And then how that works is the very top layer has a smaller bowl. You can see on the lighter green colored green stalk over on the left side of the screen, that very top layer is just a bowl, and you water from the top. And that way you don't have to always water every layer other than when you first get started. You just fill up that top container and the water moves down through the green stalk into each of those little gray watering trays, and then those will water each layer. So here I'm putting this all back together. So I think this is layer 4 that I've got right here that I just put up there. And I'm going to go ahead and fill it, add the little gray watering tray, or spill soil all over the ground, whichever. I made a terrible mess. Some of this soil, the bags were sitting outside at Home Depot or wherever we bought it, and so some of it's kind of clumped up. So I'm trying to break it up as I put it into the planter so that it is easier to work with when I start putting my plants in. So here's that top watering tray for the new green stalk. So I'm going to go ahead and fit it in. You just set it on top of there, and now as you water into that first or that top tray, it will run down into those other layers so that you don't have to continually water each layer. So my plan for this green stalk is I bought 4 dwarf cherry tomato plants because I thought having the cherry tomatoes right outside my kitchen would be perfect. I could just come out and grab those to add with dinner, or if I want a little snack. And the rest of it I was going to put in flowers. Now, I thought that I had flower seed packets. I'm pretty sure that I do somewhere. I looked all over and cannot find them, so I'm not sure what else I'm going to do with that. But right here I'm trying to decide where I should put these tomato plants, because I don't want to put them all together, and I don't want them on the bottom level because I'm afraid then they'll just hang over and drag on the ground. So I'm just picking out some spots to add these in. I dug out just a little bit of soil and stuck the plant in, and then added some soil back around them. So I just choose little places for each of these 4 plants and get those planted. So either I dreamed that I bought flower seeds, or I don't know where I put them because I can't find them. So I'm just going to go ahead and water what I've got here. I'm going to go ahead and water these in from the side. And then I'll pour the rest of this water in the top. Go ahead and just let that run through and keep watering. And then I'm going to move now back to the garden. I have a few things that I did not get planted before I left for my trip, so I'm going to go get started on those. All right, good morning. So since these bed frames that I painted last fall didn't really work, or this headboard and footboard, I guess, actually, didn't really work with the frame, they didn't actually go together, I'm repurposing these. These have been painted with Rust-Oleum, so they're perfect. So we are going to set one of these out here, and I'm going to plant some climbing roses around it, and then I'm going to put the other one in our garden space and plant climbing roses around it as well. So I think I'm going to put it, I don't know if you can see me, let's see. So I'm thinking I'm going to put it approximately here. my husband's gonna help me. We've got some pieces of rebar that we're going to strap this to help hold it up. And then I've got 4 climbing roses. 2 are white and 2 are, one's red, one's pink, I think. So I'm gonna put 1 white one and 1 colored one on each section. So as soon as my husband is able to come out here and help me, we will get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant the rose bushes first. And that way we can just set the headboard or footboard or whatever up right next to it. So I have to see where I had this again, so I can make sure that, I seriously don't remember where I had this now. I think it was about, I think it was about like this. So we'll set this one here. And I'm going to kind of press this in so that I can make, oh, this landscape fabric is probably not going to let me do that. Okay, so this one here is a Climbing America. It is kind of a reddish pink flower. It's supposed to be strong fragrance, which is what I want. I always try to find the ones that say strong fragrance because I want to make sure that if I'm planting roses that they're going to smell good. So, whoops. So this is the first one here. Okay, so I need to make a spot in my landscape fabric for this. So hopefully I can get this to actually stay lit out here. Let's see, what do I need to do here? This may not work. Okay, so I decided what I'm going to try is I'm going to cut the hole and then burn the edges of it so it doesn't fray. Hopefully that will work. Let's see. This works. And I don't think this is a very high quality fabric, which is fine because it's not, it doesn't seem to be the kind that's going to just really fray like a plasticky looking fray. So I think it might be okay. Oh goodness, I might need my husband's help out here. Previous owners had some trees up here, so I'm having to cut through some roots. All right, so now I've got to see, got to decide which way I want this to grow. Alright, so I think I'm going to do it like this. Oh, that is too much. And our soil has so much clay in it, it's awful. All right, there's the first one. All right, so the second one is a climbing rose called Iceberg. So it's just a very pretty white, bright white rose. Get some of this soil off the spot where I want to put it so I can dig in the, maybe there's not any. Oh yeah, there we go, there's the mat. Alrighty, so we're gonna put it right here. Cutting out the spot for this one. Uh-oh, I think my shovel just broke. More tree roots to dig through. Because there was a tree right here and a tree right here. Oh, and one over there. I was going to say, I thought there were three. We did not like them. They were way too close to the house, so we cut them down when we moved in. Alright, so this one came already with a little trellis on it, which I haven't decided if I'm going to leave it or not. I'm going to, oh, maybe I will. Oh. And then I'll have to get some mulch and mulch these a little bit as well. All right. I think I like that. So, get my pots out of the way. All right, I think need it like that. That's good. So now I can get some zip ties, some clear zip ties, and we'll just zip tie this to the
rebar that I just pounded in.
Okay, also I can knock these plastic things out and then put the wire up inside it.
Oh, did I put these too far apart to do that? No, I think they're about right.
This one just seems like it needs to be.
Well, I have it kind of slid that way so it'll stand up.
Yes.
While I went looking for zip ties, but if you can do that, that'd be better.
Cause I could get
you can get them out. Just like a screwdriver.
Yeah. I think I can.
And then.
Oh, these don't even have anything in.
Oh, well.
The other two do.
Well, look at that.
Let's see what
we can do. That one's kind of weird. It was crooked, so I had a hard time. Ah, perfect.
See, then it'll never fall and move.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be better.
All right. One down.
Now this one I do need.
So, the other one has little plastic, or are they plastic?
Yeah.
Little plastic feet in it. So my husband's going to use a screwdriver or something to dig those out, so that we can do the same sort of thing with it.
2 more wires.
So we decided to put the other one in this back corner of our garden area. So my husband's just going to go ahead and pound those rebar in, and then we'll do the same thing as we did with the one up in the front of the house.
So my husband is pounding in the stakes for this other one in the garden. So in here I've got another one of those white, the iceberg. And then I've got this one, which is Zephyrine Druin. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's a really pretty pink. It also says strong fragrance.
So I started digging the holes for the roses out here, and the ground was much harder. So my husband took over for me, which I really appreciated. So he's going to dig out the holes for these 2 roses, and we're going to get those planted in front of this. And if you'll notice, we left the rebar so that the bed frame or the headboard, whatever, sits a little bit higher, since these are climbing roses. And that way it gives them a little bit more space to climb up.
Alrighty, so there's our second one out here in the garden space. So I'm gonna give all of these a good watering, and then I'm gonna go back to the garden and do some more weeding because it is horribly weedy. So I'm gonna start weeding around my tomatoes and peppers and some of my other plants and get those taken care of. So we will see you guys on our next project.